tech.
But we did it.
We did
Hey.
it. Hi. We have a lot of people to let in. Do you need help? Hello. Hi, Nina. I like seeing people on video also. It's kind of nice.
Maxine and Maria, can y'all let people in when they request to join while I'm
I'll be
presenting?
on it the whole time.
Awesome.
We could do it.
Awesome. Hey, everybody.
Hello, hello. All right. Look at these beautiful faces. Hi, Kristen. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Yeah, we're gonna have to give it a minute. Hey,
Yep.
Michelle. Oh my gosh, so amazing. Linda's here. I love seeing some faces I haven't seen in a minute. We had some tech challenges, but we made it at the top of the hour. We're just letting people in now, so just bear with us. We're excited to get started. We'll let people in, Rita, if you want to get your slide deck set up.
All ready to roll.
You're ready to roll? Okay, however you want to do it.
All right. Well, let's jump in. I am one to I just want to jump right in. So we'll do that then. How is everybody doing today? Is it a happy Monday? Let me pull up my chat. I got to get my all of my little windows together because once I start sharing, then Zoom changes. Now I've got that together. Oh, Jennifer's coming. Yay, Jennifer and Adriana. Okay, so today we are talking about Google and AI. Let me tell you why this training came about. Maxine and I have had many people concerned that they're not being found in searches anymore because people are using AI searches like Siri and ChatGPT. Has that been a concern for any of you guys? If so, please let me know in the chat. I've got the chat window open. So is that something that's bothering you guys? We are going to talk about it today. All right.
Yes, and the other thing that is being said is that it's replacing Google. I
Yeah,
love that one.
heard that also.
Yeah.
So what we're going to talk about today is really math. I am a statistics person. I'm a data person. I'm an analytic type of person. And so I really like to look at the bottom line. Like, what is the bottom line? Does SEO work? Does it pay off? Before we get into that, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. This is Maxine, in case you haven't met Maxine before. Maxine is the founder of the Esthetician Business Academy. She's been in the beauty industry for over 30 years. She's a national speaker and an industry educator, and she helps estheticians scale beyond the treatment room.
Thank you, Rita. Thanks for introducing me. It's always tough talking about yourself, and we want to get into the good stuff. And yes, and we've been teaching organic marketing for over a decade. So the Esthetician Business Academy did celebrate 10 years in January. So we're super proud about that. Please allow me to introduce Rita. She's been on my team for 5.5 years. I am so lucky to have her on the team. She is the leader of all the tech talks in our group coaching for those that want to learn the DIY and how to do it and all of that. She does specialize in Google Business Profile and optimizing the AI visibility, as well as website. Not only is she an amazing designer, I just got to toot her horn for a little bit. She understands all of the techie stuff, the not so sexy stuff, as we say, behind the website that actually matters more than a good looking website. And she helps beauty professionals get found and booked even more. So I could go on and on about her, but let's really dig into the good stuff. Okay, Rita, you take it
Basically,
first.
I'm a big old nerd, and Maxine is an amazing coach. So that's the long and short of it. Okay. So let's talk about what's going on. Like, technology has really taken big, huge leaps and bounds over the last few years. So it started out with Siri and, Alexa. It's going to say, and so your potential clients aren't just Googling anymore. So what does this mean? Why does this matter to you? They're not just opening a browser and typing into Google. They're asking Siri. They're asking in their car. They're asking the thing over there that's going to listen to me now. ChatGPT at their desk, Gemini on their phone, and that list is only getting longer. But the good news is all of these tools, they pull from the same place. And Google is still the heavyweight. That's the one that really matters. As a matter of fact, SEO is more important now than ever. So the tools change, but the search stays. I might be revealing my age a little bit, but whenever I was younger, the strategy was to name your business something that started with 5A. So it'd be AAAA Aardvark Storage, because people would use the phone book and it went in alphabetical order, right? People are always going to search. It's our job as business owners and marketers to change our strategy to go along with what real people are doing to search. So people are always going to search, and right now, a lot of people are using a browser, voice search, AI, or an app, but Google and the map feed the AI results. What I mean by that is that Google is looking at. I'm sorry, the AI is looking at Google, it's looking at the map pack, it's looking at your reviews, it's looking at Yelp. If you win Google, you will win the AI searches, and that's a fact. So where AI gets its answers is called LLMs, is what all these things are called, ChatGPT and Claude and what have you. They have their favorite sources, so different ones choose different things. Google AI is real heavy on all of the Google properties. ChatGPT uses Google, Yelp, and Bing, and I don't have it on the slide deck, I don't know why, but also Reddit. Google bought Reddit, so ChatGPT also uses Reddit. Bing works like Google. So for example, if you do a chat GPT for best facials in city, for example, you're going to see some results. Now, I actually did this. This is a real chat that I pulled up on my personal account. And I said, oh, JoJo's here. Yay. I said, this was, a couple of weeks ago when I was making the slide deck. I literally just put into chat GPT, hair salons near me. Now, I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The first one that brought up was Salon Eden, which is where I used to go. Then there's some more, blah, blah, blah. All these are very well-known salons in my city, except for I'm not familiar with Utopia, actually. And it gives me highlights of each one. So this is my chat GPT, right? ChatGPT.com. So it gives me what they're all known for, et cetera, et cetera. Some community favorites via Reddit, right? Choosing the right salon. It gives me a little, a comparison. All I said was hair salons near me. That was it. I didn't ask for any of this other information. And it gave me all of this information, right? So then I said, this is my next input. When searching for this information, in what order and what resources did you? So the very first thing was Google search results, the local pack, also called the map pack, and organic. So ChatGPT searched hair salons near me, used Google's local business listings, the maps, local pack, to get the top rated salons in your Baton Rouge area with ratings, address, hours, and review counts. Then the official salon websites. Get this, this is where some of these SEO details matter. Says I click through each salon's website to confirm their services, brands, and product lines, and any unique selling points. So why does this matter to you? If your website is currently offering, or I'm sorry, if your Google profile says that you do, say, Brazilian waxing, but you don't offer that anymore, or Google can't find that, I'm sorry, or ChatGPT can't find that on your website, you're not going to come up. You have to be consistent. So all of these LLMs are real big on consistency. Then it checked Google directly from the local pack. Then I went to local community recommendations, like from Reddit, and then it crossed verification, business name, services, reviews, blah, blah, blah. So that's what it did just for me saying hair salons near me. So what I'm trying to say is that if you don't have your Google done, like your local SEO and your organic official website matching, if your reviews don't have anything that makes sense, right, then all of it falls apart. So it all has to work together. Does that make sense? Am I losing anybody yet? No, I'm doing good. Okay. So, oops, oh, too fast. So I want to talk about action steps. I really believe in taking action. And Maxine is a huge believer in the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. So what can you do today to help yourself, to help your business? What's the 20% of effort that will get you the most results? Here's a very short list. And by the way, there is a workbook that you can all download. It's at maxinedrake.com/SEO dash playbook, or you can scan the QR code right there. And these things are listed in that workbook for you. So your 80-20 rule right up top, very first things. So number one is the keyword in your meta title, and that is the title of your website. You want that to be front loaded, meaning if you have a spa in Dallas that focuses on facials, you want your meta title to say facials in Dallas dash your spa name, not the other way around. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see is people they fall in love with their business name and it's, Salon Glow or whatever, and people are not searching for that. They're searching for facials in Dallas. Okay? You want the keyword in your H1 tag. So your H1 is the number one heading in your website. If any of this is confusing to you, you again download this workbook and it'll say right here, update your H1 heading. Ask Google, what is an H1 heading? And figure it out from there or hire us to do it for you. Next is keyword in your URL. If your URL is something that's totally different than this service that you offer, then it doesn't make sense. Now, in your homepage URL is obviously just your business name. But if you have a services page for facials, you want it to be mybusinessname.com/facials in Dallas. And then you talk about all your facials on that page. You want at least 500 keywords about that URL. I mean, about that keyword. 500 words about that keyword. And you want links to go to the page. So you want other places to link to you. That can be your social media profiles. That can be your Google Business Profile, your Yelp profile, your Bing profile, any local like Chamber of Commerce listings, any directories you can get in, all of those things to link to your page. Those are the top 20% of activities that will get you 80% of the results. This is literally 80% of the work that I do when I work with people in their SEO. This is it. This is my job right there. All right. So next, quick wins in 60 seconds. None of these take very long. Get a 5-star review. Who can you text right now for a 5-star review? Ask people for reviews. One of the people that we're working with, we told her how important these are and showed her the data that showed how important these are. And she reached out. She was really nervous about it. And she started getting reviews right away. It's not hard. Just say, hey, I'm really, working on my Google. Can you help me by leaving me a review? You want to update your meta title, update your H1, add your address to the footer of your website, and update your Google Business Profile description. Those few little things can make a big difference. So what Google looks for is what they call local signals. That means that Google wants you to be local. They expect to find you locally. It's actually harder for a nationwide company, let's just say a 5-minute oil change, for example, to optimize for local traffic because they're a national chain. They want you to be local. So get listed in Uber, Yelp, etc. Get backlinks from any charities, local businesses, media. Give away a freebie to become a local celebrity. Now, this strategy takes a little bit of work and effort on your part. You got to put it together. Maxine and the Esthetician Business Academy actually teaches about how to do local events to get the most out of it. But the quick and dirty of that is this. You want to show up in your community and hopefully in the local news where people will talk about it. You want to capture it. So pictures, videos, what have you, so that Google and AI can see you as an active, trusted local business and turn those offline wins, your in-person events, into online visibility. So that is really, this is the hack. This is the cheat. This is what you do. So what can you do to get picked up locally with an event or sponsoring something? So for example, back to school glow up. Like maybe if you offered free mini facials for local teachers the week before school starts. Do you think maybe your morning news channel will want to pick up that story? That's a pretty good story. Even if you just picked like one school and offered to do mini facials for all of the teachers. Or what if you did, what if you do really well with nurses? Because a lot of our clients do really well with nurses, and you offered complimentary brow treatments during Nurses Week. Now, can you imagine? These people can give you reviews right there and then. They can take pictures right there and then. You go to the hospital, you go to wherever, you go to them and do something like this. Maybe you have a Women's Week event in your local community, and you can do free skin consultations. Or if there's a bridal fair, I know here we have bridal shows like 2 or 3 times a year. Or maybe you want to partner up with a local gym or a local yoga studio and do a skin and sweat event. What can you do to get noticed in your community that other websites will link back to you, that the news will hopefully pick up if you send them a quick email and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Um, and last case, like last ditch effort is just sponsor a local dance group or a little league team. They're going to feature you on their website. They're going to link back to you, get links that you're wanting these links and you're wanting this traffic. But what can you do? These are the kind of events that get you known as a local celebrity. Um, and you want to do these events for people that are your ideal audience. You don't want to go and do, I don't know, a free facial for a bunch of roofers. I mean, my husband's a roofer, so that's why it comes to mind, because that's not your ideal audience. My husband would never get a facial. Anyway, so step 2, get super visible. Whenever you do any of these things, if Google doesn't see it, it didn't happen. Put photos, put it on your Google Business Profile. Ask people at these events, let's say you do a mini facial or eyebrow shaping, ask people to take a selfie and to give you a review on your Google Business Profile right then and there. Um, you're going to mention your partnerships and events on your website's blog page. So say that you've got an event coming up, you want to mention that on your own website. Ask attendees for Google reviews, already said that, and try to get listed in local online event calendars. So your local chamber, community sites, any local news sites. Nextdoor is big here. There's the Baton Rouge events calendar thing where they have like all the different fairs and festivals. What can you do to get listed, get hyper, be obsessed with it? And then step 3 is to convert that into your visibility. Every photo, review, and mention is a local signal that Google loves. Now, a lot of you ladies are already doing this with social media. You're already doing this with your Facebook and your Instagram. You're going live, you're doing these things, but you're ignoring the engine that feeds the AI results, the engine that feeds your books, which is Google. So if you're already doing it for your Facebook, for your Instagram, for your TikTok, post the same exact thing on your Google Business Profile. It only takes a second. One more step. More Google Business Profile activity means more trust from Google and the AI tools pulling from it. If you can get local links from your news sites, community pages, partners, anything, what magazines do you have locally? You want to be a local celebrity, and this is how you do it. You have to give a little bit of your time, effort, a little bit of money maybe to create some signage, that sort of thing, but that's how it's done. That's how you do it. So your whole goal is to get in the map pack. That is your visibility. So you want to push for at least 250 Google reviews. If you're at 30, then hey, that's where you are. Push for them every appointment. So if you need to offer a free brow wax, a deluxe sample, some kind of gift card, something like, hey, can you give me a review? Your map pack spot is where all of that community effort will pay off online. And for the spot owners that we manage, getting into the map pack is one of the first things that we tackle. That is where the ROI really snowballs. I want to show you what that looks like. If I just Google and I do oil change, let's just say, oil change near me. Let's try that. This is the map pack. You want to be in the top 3. That's where you want to be. The first one is sponsored. So really it starts right here. But you want to be in the top 3. If you're not there, very few people click the more businesses. If I look for dog boarding near me, boom, first one is sponsored. You want to get in this top 3. If you're not in the top 3, you may as well be invisible. So that is your number 1 goal. And everything that I've showed you so far is how you get there. Now, boom, listen next. Okay. Blogging is one of the things that can really help your visibility. And once upon a time, blogging really meant talking about yourself or what's going on, or, like a personal story. But these days it really needs to be strategic. You want to write posts that answer hyper specific local questions. So here I am in Louisiana. We have Mardi Gras. If I were an esthetician, I might write a post about how to remove Mardi Gras makeup. What is local to you? What is specific to you? Use events and partnerships as content. So recaps, photo galleries, shout outs, add keywords like service plus city in your content. So my goal is to be the best anti-aging treatment in Dallas. These posts feed Google and AI with more proof. So here's some examples. How much do facials cost in city? So if I wrote a blog post, how much do facials cost in Baton Rouge? I could say, well, you can go down to Paul Mitchell or Aveda rather, and have a student do it for like $15. Or you can go to XYZ Resort and have it done for $200, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? To answer hyper-local questions. And then going back to that celebrity framework, I've actually given you a template in the PDF on how to write a blog post about your event. So I'm just going to scroll through this PDF, and here's your blog template. The name of the event plus service plus city, back to school glow up, free mini facials for teachers in Dallas, and how you would write it. Just follow that. It works. You don't have to overcomplicate this. All right, so let's talk about ROI and strategy. Maxine, do you want to talk about that?
I would love to take over. This is amazing.
I
Are
feel
you
like I'm just like,
I know. You actually slowed it down. I'm very, I love it. I'm impressed and I'm grateful. Is there any questions so far before we start digging into ROI and numbers? Does anybody have any questions so far to this point?
Yes, so two questions. Do the blog posts go on Google or where do you put them? The second question is, where do you get the workbook?
Sure. So I just answered in the chat, but you want to put the blog post on your website, and then you want to create a Google Business Profile update that says, "Hey, there's something new on the blog." So for example, let me just go to Maxine's real quick, and we'll pull up her latest blog. So the blog lives on the /blog page, and then her latest blog was about finding the right retail products. So I can click that link right there, copy that, and go to business.google.com. And let me find Maxine and click there. Now, obviously, I have several. And then right here, I can add an update. I can say latest from the blog. And I can put a picture and then add a button that links to add a button, learn more. And then I can add that link right there. So you add the blog to your website, but then you do a Google Business Profile update with that link. Does that make sense? So you let Google know, like if you're writing a new blog post, you would put it on your Facebook, you would put it on your Instagram, you might share it with your community that you already have, like a Facebook community. There's just one more place to share that new content so that Google knows about it. And then as far as where to get the workbook, you're going to go to maxinedrake.com/SEO-playbook. And you'll find the link right there. So I'm just going to put that in the chat, or you can scan that QR code that's right there in the corner. So I'll put that link in the chat as well. SEO-playbook. That should take you right there. And just let me know in the chat if you're having trouble getting to it. Oops, I went too many pages. Let me go back.
You go. You're getting ahead of me. I love
Sorry.
it. No,
I'll
that was
skip you
good.
around.
Good questions because so does everyone have their workbook? Because I want to make sure you have a workbook or a pen and paper or a calculator or just something handy as we dig in and we talk about ROI and we talk about the numbers. So I'm so glad you're loving it. Okay, that's fantastic. So we're going to talk about ROI. So if we can just, I'll let you know when I'm ready. My slide changer, not quite. Just stay on the ROI page. Oh, you can tell we've been working together for a little bit. So this is good. So, all right. ROI, return on investment, right? It's not just about spending money or investing, it's about planting money and expecting it to multiply. That's When we're investing in something, we're expecting it to multiply. So SEO is kind of like planting fruit trees. And I thought about this, it's not the best analogy. You don't want to plant today and harvest tomorrow. You're not really going to do that with a tree, but you get where I'm going with this. You plant because 6 months, 12 months from now, those trees will be feeding you again and again. And that's how real growth works. And I don't want you to believe that ROI for SEO is immediate, because it's not. It's really the long game. So we're going to talk about that. So every month you're stacking the visibility, you're stacking clients, you're stacking those reviews, and then that consistency, it builds momentum. So I just want to paint a little picture for you for your future self for a moment. So I want you to imagine 6 months from today, and you walk into your spa, or you check your schedule, or you look online, and you're not wondering where the next client is coming from. They're already there. And your front desk says, "Oh my gosh, we had 3 new bookings yesterday, all from Google." And one client tells you, "I asked Alexa for the best facial nearby and you popped up." That is what visibility looks like, and that is ROI. It's not necessarily money back, but it is. It's more predictability, it's peace of mind, it's your business working for you instead of you always working for it. And this is where the numbers tell the truth and the math doesn't lie. So once you see the math in black and white, you'll know why investing in SEO is one of the smartest decisions that you can make, whether you choose to do it yourself or have a team member do it for you. Okay, so now let's look at the math, and the math works. And so let's just let's just pause, and we're going to run the numbers together. So everyone has their workbook, and I believe that numbers tell a story. And that story is either about your potential growth or opportunity left on the table. So open your workbook. I think it's section 4. Your SEO ROI snapshot, fill in the blanks here. What is your average service ticket? I don't want you to overthink it right now. Whatever you think it is, let's just put it in. There is a formula to do that, but we're just going to keep it really simple. How many new clients could you realistically gain each month from better visibility? Let's just say 6 as an example. We're going to keep things really conservative. And then how often do those clients usually book? And it's somewhere in the realm of 4 to 5 to 6 weeks to 8 weeks, but we're going to say about 6 weeks just for simplicity. So now we're going to multiply it out. Your average ticket times new clients times rebooking frequency times 12 months. What is your number? What is your number? You want to write it down. You want to look at it, because that's your future if you start building that momentum now. This isn't about like a one-time win. This is about compounding. And those 6 clients don't just show up once and disappear, right? They become part of your ecosystem. They return, they refer, they buy retail, they stack on top of the new ones coming in the next month. And this is how you stop playing the game of like the one-off bookings, and you start building a book of clients that funds your business predictably. Okay. The math doesn't lie. And the math is in your favor when you start treating visibility like an asset instead of a gamble. Because a lot of times with marketing, we're like, let's just see if this sticks and that sticks and that sticks. I don't know who can relate to that. So how did you do with your little step 1 through 5? And does anybody want to share your numbers? And if not, that's okay too, because you could use this workbook over and over. You could use it month over month, once a quarter, however you want to use it. Okay. All right, let's go to, yeah. So, but if you feel like sharing, I want to encourage you to share the numbers in the chat of what you came up with. Even if your average ticket is on the lower end, I don't want you to feel embarrassed or whatever. Like, this is a space for learning and growing and empowerment. And so these new clients would cover more than your investment if you invested in any SEO many times over. And remember, this is just like 1 year. SEO is like planting the fruit trees, right? You don't just get one harvest, you keep harvesting. And this is where it kind of really gets exciting for us because the math works in your favor because SEO isn't just a one and done. Every new client you bring in can become a repeat client. That's the goal, right? So it does count on your level of customer service and all the things and follow up, and that's a whole nother class. But if your average service is, let's just say, $120 and SEO gets you 6 new clients a month, that's roughly 720 in immediate revenue. Okay. So if those clients rebook every 6 weeks, you're looking at over $6,000 in annual revenue from the first month alone because it's going to compound. And then in month 2, you add another 6 clients, and now you've got 12 who keep coming back. And by the end of the year, you've built a roster worth of tens of thousands in repeat business before we even count retail, any kind of upsells, or any kind of referrals. And I think SEO is confusing for most spa owners and entrepreneurs in general. They think of it like, okay, I built my website and it's done. I don't have to do a thing and I don't have to do anymore. It's like a box to check. I did it once, I'm good. And honestly, that thinking is keeping you smaller, smaller. That's what we call 2x thinking. We're thinking kind of small because it really comes from that compounding momentum. So, month 1, you get 6 new clients, they rebook. Now you've got a steady baseline. Month 2, you've got another 6 new clients, they stack on top of the first group. And then by month 12, you've built a roster of regulars. And that kind of steady income stream, that's what lets you breathe. That's what lets you plan. That's what lets you grow. And that's how you go from that slow season panic to always booked. And here's where it really gets exciting. By year 2, those groups even multiply. And by year 3, you've built an engine that generates 50,000, 75,000, over 100,000, and so on and so forth. But it's not really about you grinding harder. It's about building something that works harder for you. So so that's really SEO in a nutshell and how that can compound. We do have a couple of case studies to show you, and this one is super unique because this is a brand new client. And this person went from pretty much off the map because 19 is considered, I mean, it's still on the map, but pretty much invisible. And in 2 weeks, she went up to 5.1. This is unusual. I was like, how did this happen? Like this is unusual. So all we can attest it to is that Google, for whatever reason, recognized the work within the first 2 weeks. So if we go to the next one, I think we have one more after this one, right, Rita? This one's really unique too. So this is consistent effort. Now, this particular client, Essentials up in Washington, they have been with us for 6 months. But here's what's interesting about the consistent effort and how it paid off just in this month, like as if it did it for this class. At the beginning of the month, it was the 6th, I think. She went from 6.9. Now remember, I don't remember where we started from. I don't have that statistic on this particular
She was invisible on Google
was
Maps.
she invisible? Okay.
Yeah, it was like 19 or 20. It was virtually invisible.
Okay.
We just started
So
putting in consistent effort, and then all of a sudden this month it really
it just popped. Right. So this is after 6 months, and this is what I wanted to convey. It was very exciting to show you that first case study, but that's not That doesn't usually happen. It usually takes some time. But then when it pops and she went from 6.9 from August 6th to ranking number one by August 21st, when we ran the reports, like that's insane. So we finally, after the 6 months worth of work and that consistent effort, she's now at number one. So I'm very, very excited for her. So that is so let's go to the next one because this next slide really kind of shows, and I want to start simple, but I want you to really soak in this slide, take a screenshot of it if you'd like. In year one, you bring in 72 new clients. Now, not every single one is going to stay forever, and that's okay. That's the name of the game. But the beauty of organic marketing versus running ads is you're not targeting people. When you target people from ads, there's lower conversions. There's stats all about that, okay? And but what your ideal client and why your ideal client becomes ideal for you with organic marketing efforts is because they are searching for what you have, you see. So that's the difference. So year one, you bring in 72 clients. Now, not everyone's going to stay. If you retain 60%, and that's kind of on the low side, but let's just use 60%. That's 43 new regulars on your books by the end of the year, right? So what does that mean in real dollars? Well, conservatively, 25 to 30 grand in service revenue, and that is before retail, before any programs you sell or referrals. So already the math works. So now watch what happens when you keep going. By year two, you add another 72 clients, again with that normal retention. You're just stacking another 43 regulars on top of your year one. That's 86 loyal clients fueling your spa by the end of year two. Your service revenue doubles. Now you're looking at 50 to 60,000 in annual revenue. Remember, that's without even counting the upgrades, the retails, the programs that you're selling, the referrals, and so on. And then here's where momentum really takes off, and that's by year three. You add another 72 clients, you retain a healthy portion, and suddenly you have around 130 regular clients who trust you, who love you, who book with you, and they refer their friends. And that puts your annual service revenue above 75,000. So I want you to notice something, and that is you didn't hustle harder in year three than you hustled in year one. You didn't magically find more hours in the day. What changed was the momentum. So each year your baseline grows, and each year your compounding ROI gets bigger. So that's the real power of SEO. It's not the one and done. It's planting the fruit trees, watching them grow, and then realizing you have an orchard that keeps producing year after year. Okay. And here's the future self moment. Imagine, fast forward and put yourself in year three. Now looking back and thinking, thank God I started 3 years ago, right? So we have another case study. And this is Jerry's. So, and this just kind of shows the trajectory from June to August. In June, she wasn't even on the map. There is no 6.9. It's like, or 13 or 19. She wasn't even on the map. It showed a negative. And then by yesterday or today she is ranking number one. I don't know if Jerry's on the call, but I don't know if she even got notified yet. But she's got to be stoked. Okay. She is stoked that she is now ranking number one organically before any sponsored ads. Okay. So SEO builds momentum month over month. That's what we're trying to convey to you in today's training, is that it's not a quick fix. It's not a one and done. If we want to go to the next slide, that'd be great. And it's not a one and done. And I think this is where entrepreneurs miss it a little bit, because it's not just about getting more clients. It's more about that momentum. I hope we're hitting home with that. We don't treat SEO like a quick fix. That's what promotions are for. If you need a fast cash injection, then talk to me about that if you need that, you know? SEO is the long game, and the clients you acquire this month will still be booking with you next month and the year after that, all based on your amazing customer service, of course. And you know, I really want you to visualize this compounding revenue. It's steady growth that compounds, and this is exactly why we manage it for our clients month over month, so they don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about the rankings. They just see their schedule filling up with regulars, they're following up, and they're doing what they do best. So think about it, you know, month one, a handful of new clients come in, they rebook, and that's your baseline. And then month two, another handful come in and they rebook, and now your baseline grows. And then by month 12, you're not just adding new clients, you've stacked multiple groups of loyal repeats on top of one another. And that's compounding. So momentum is where it's at, because momentum creates confidence, confidence creates freedom, and suddenly you're just not stressing about that slow season like I mentioned earlier, or wondering if the phone's going to ring or that text is going to come through or you're going to get that magical booking, because you've built a system where new clients and repeat clients are always overlapping. So this is exactly how spas go from seasonal stress to fully booked year round. It's not magic, it's just math plus momentum. And every month that you stay in the game, it just gets easier. It builds faster, and the more predictable your revenue comes. And I think that's what everybody wants. They want to be able to predict and have those projections so they know how to live their life. Everybody has their life that they want to live. So here's the key. The longer you run SEO, the faster the flywheel spins, right? It's like in the beginning, it's like pushing a snowball uphill at first. It's slow, it's heavy, it's awkward, but once it crests and starts rolling, it grows bigger and faster, and then it becomes unstoppable. And that's what we're building here. It's not just clients, but compounding growth that keeps paying you back every single month. So I'm gonna I'm going to address the flip side of this. I know we don't like to talk about competitors, but you know, and like we all like to play nice in the sandbox and all of that, but here this is really the flip side of this. While you're debating whether or not to move forward and do something about your SEO, your competitors are moving. They're updating their Google Business Profile, they're asking for reviews, they're posting keyword-rich content, and Google is rewarding them with momentum. And every single week you wait, you know, they're climbing higher. And AI tools are starting to recommend them instead of you. Okay. So we think, you know, waiting is neutral, but waiting isn't really neutral. Waiting is kind of losing ground, because your competitors aren't standing still. And we said it at the beginning of the training, SEO is more important today now than ever because of these AI tools and where people are searching. And you just don't want to get lost in the shuffle and be off the map, you know? They're building that momentum, and you'll have to pay double or triple to catch up later, you know? So momentum compounds, whether you're building it It doesn't matter, or whether your competitor is. So the real question is, do you want to be the spa that's chasing, or do you want to be the spa that others are trying to catch? And be the spa, the go-to that shows up in that map pack in the top 3. So Google doesn't reward hesitation, Google rewards consistency. And the one who starts now, the one that gets to their own top placement while everyone else is playing catch up. So if we go to that next slide, I want to talk a little bit about who versus how. And we really talk about this in our high level coaching. It's kind of a critical mindset shift because most owners and entrepreneurs think, how do I do SEO? How do I do that? How do I figure this out? How do I get ranked? And we call that 2x thinking. And that's from my coach also, and who's taught me that. So it trickles down. And that's you trying to muscle your way through complexity, really. But 10x thinking asks a different question. Who can do this for me? Because when you find the right who, you don't waste the time trying to figure out the how. And the truth is, SEO isn't about doing everything. It's about knowing which levers to pull and in what order. And Google and AI don't reward random activity. We've done that and we've seen that like on socials, right? They reward small, precise, strategic changes done in a sequence. So, and I know most spa owners don't have the time or the knowledge of that order of operations. It's confusing. So you can spend hours watching tutorials and reading blogs and experimenting and still not hit the right levers in the right order. Or you can let us do it. And this is why spa owners do hire us, because we already know what changes move the needle the fastest. And we saw, like in the case study, the fastest example. And then you saw an example, what happens after 6 months. So we wanted to show you some case studies of something that was like super fast and something that took a little bit longer. So, you know, if you were going to future pace yourself, and let go of how to do it, the faster you step into results, because the right who collapses that time for you, right? And that's the difference between trying to DIY it your way forward and letting experts build that momentum and compound that year after year for you. So, I think that QR code there will bring you what we're going to do. I don't know if we have time. Nope. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how much time has lapsed in here. But we want to do some SEO audits for you. So if you scan that QR code or drop the link, Rita, in the chat, it'll bring you to our
I've
page. And
already
just,
put the link in.
oh, you did? I see it's like got buried. I'll get to questions in a minute. All right. I think we have one more slide to show you the done for you, and then we're going to open up for Q&A. All right. Done for you. Okay. Do I have permission to speak frankly? I always want to ask permission. You could DIY this. I know. You could spend hours learning SEO and tinkering with your Google Business Profile and writing the content and trying to figure out what works. And maybe after months of trial and error, you stumble into some results. Absolutely could happen. But the really big question is, why would you want to? Your expertise is, and I know this, I'm an esthetician at heart, is meeting with your client, is selling programs, treatment programs, is recommending home care for them, is making sure your systems are in place so that you are getting repeat customers and referrals from those amazing clients that you love. You know, your genius is serving clients, transforming skin, and creating experiences that people want to rave about and write reviews. It's not deciphering Google's algorithm. Every hour you spend trying to DIY SEO is an hour you're not in your zone of genius. We talk about being in your zone of genius. You know, that's opportunity cost and that's lost revenue. So this is where the done for you SEO and Google Business Profile packages come in, and what you really get is a complete business profile audit. We'll do that for free for you. I want you to see, we'll use some tools, and that's really the first step to kind of show you where you are showing up right now. And when we complete the work for you, we'll do that audit and optimize so you show up in that map pack like we showed you with some of those case studies. We'll do some keyword research that positions you for the exact services that you want to sell, not just generic traffic. It's really important to do that keyword research to see what consumers are looking for in your area, and then we match the content to what people are searching for. And a lot of times we have that flip-flopped in Rita's example in the earlier slides. And then you get a report from us month to month. After every month, we show you exactly where the bookings are coming from, exactly what we've done for you. There's no fluff and there's no confusion. So that's really it. So I'd like to open up the floor for some Q&A. I'm sure that I see the chat box has really, is anyone signing up for a complimentary SEO and Google audit? Okay, great. So go ahead and either click that link and get some time. You already did. Awesome. She already did it. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for walking them through that, Rita. And then I know I missed some questions.
Yes. So Julie asked, what does it cost to have you do it for us?
Yeah, so we'll go over that on the call. It really does vary because, and I want to be transparent also, if I could. And that is, if you have a booking site, I would rather not have you book an SEO audit, to be honest. I just want to nip that in the bud because a booking site is not a qualified website. It is a third-party site, okay? And we had something backfire on us with a client. They were very excited to work with us, and I love them. And they had a booking site. And then they got very inspired by our recommendation of eventually getting a site. So we had a plan down the road for them to get a site. And then she did it within, what was it, Rita, like a month and a half or something like that. And so what ended up happening with that, because that was her only source of a site and booking, right? And so what happened was it reset everything and we had to basically start over. So what you need to know with Google is that when you do put up a brand new website, it takes about 6 months for Google to recognize that it's up. And so to this particular person, it looked like we didn't do jack for her, you know? Very excited that she got her website. Absolutely, hands down, the best move she could have made. But it just kind of, so in our vetting process as well, we want you to win and we want this to be a surefire, like, you know, like this is going to work for you. So we really want to work with websites. If you have a booking site on top of that, that's great. We do embedding where we can. There's, I think, who's our trouble? Never mind. I was going to say booking app, but I don't want to go into that. But so if you have a site and you have a booking like Vogaro or Square or whatever, that's cool. But I really want to do audits only if you have a website and a booking. If you have a website and a booking, perfect. Zoom user. All right.
Jojo asked, what if your business doesn't make 5K?
Okay. Where do you want to be? I don't know what she's asking. I'm sorry. I feel like I don't know what she's asking.
Rita said, Julie, okay, I just did. I would like to. I plan to. Already did. I want to. Doing it now. I tried. I'm not making 5K. Jojo said, thank you for your honesty because this is what I have currently. Zoom user, what if you have a website and it's
I see what she's saying. The form is saying, how much do you make? And then the form is asking
Oh,
5,000.
okay. I'm just trying to get an idea of where your starting is, because when, it's like you have goals, right? I'm sure you have goals, Jojo. And it's just like if you're quite not earning 5 grand now, where do you want to be by the end of the month? Where do you want to be in a year from now? And so that's important for us to know so that we're tracking where you are, and then we can celebrate with you in 6 months or 12 months if you're like, holy crap, I did exactly what you said on the slides. I got 72 new people and I'm making blah, blah, blah. You know, the caveat to this is also, um, the reason why we really love meeting people is we want to make sure you're offering unbelievable customer service. You have really great follow-up. If we're bringing you leads and you're getting new clients that are, trying to get a hold of you, are you the barrier to entry? You know, we just had this conversation
We
in
had
our,
one person that she hired us, but it's like she didn't want anybody because there was no place to call her. There's no way to book. And she's like, well, I'm not taking any new clients. Okay, well then you're not a good fit. You have to
right.
be open for growth. If you are in a stuck mindset, if you are not in a growth mindset, this isn't for you, then do something different. You have to be, ready to grow your business. And that means, being available for new appointments. So you can't mark your calendar off and then say, well, Rita, Maxine, didn't get me any new clients. Well, there was no place to book because you decided that you wanted to take your mornings to, I don't know, do underwater basket weaving instead of working.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. But, like we have a longtime client. I love her and I can speak frank with her because she's been in a lot of my high-end coaching. And I'm like, girl, you've been wanting to hire for 2 years. We're sending you like 40 something clients a month. And I just added it up for her of how much money she's leaving on the table. She's like, okay, I'm putting the ad in this week. And like for whatever reason, there was like stops for her and wanting to hire, and she had been wanting to hire. And so if you're booked out and you can't take clients, but if so that's just a really good example. I was like, okay, so start a wait list for the new hire and things like that. So, you know, in the very beginning when you work with us and you fill out your onboarding and all of that, and you get 3 meetings with us, you'll be meeting with me once a week to go over a little bit of strategy, once a week, once a month to go over a little bit of strategy for the next month. And I, it makes it more enjoyable if the owner is a little bit coachable, because it's like a give and take, right? It goes both ways. And so if you're really stuck and you haven't grown, then it's time to try something different. And that's why we loved, listen, we didn't we fell into the done for you stuff because we've been coaching for a decade, and people are like, Maxine, you told me all the how-tos, right? What we talked about, who versus how. And you taught me all of that. Well, guess what? I don't want to do it. And so I'm like, okay. So 2.5 years ago is when we opened up the done for you stuff because we reached that point in our coaching where owners are like, I don't want to do this stuff. I don't have time for this. I got to lead my team. I got to write my vision. I got to write my strategy for the rest of the year, whatever it is, your CEO thinking. So, really, I'm going to ask you to think like an entrepreneur and not a service provider. You know, I think that we stay in our startup mindset longer than we should, if I can speak frank. And, what's got you here isn't going to get you to where you want to go, wherever that is. And one of the things that I love is helping you build the life you want, not what so and so wants or the esthetician down the block or what I want. It's really helping you build a life that you want. That's why you opened a business
Mhm.
to begin with, is so that you can live life on your terms. And yeah, so letting the experts handle all this techie stuff. Because quite honestly, the SEO portion is the invisible work. A lot of times it's not visible right away. And we go over that.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
there's some technical questions in the chat. I don't know if you wanted me to address those.
Please.
Okay, so Olga was asking, and a couple other people were asking also
Yep.
about, what if it's built on Squarespace or whatever? Like Julie just said, she has a URL with Square, but wondering if Squarespace is better. To be honest, as long as it's your own URL. Now, this is Olga's website. I asked her for the URL in the chat. And what we do when we're looking at this through an SEO lens is we want to look, what does the computer see? This is a little thing called, I forgot the name of the little plugin, but it's, what is this called?
I
SEO.
call I call it our skin analysis
Yeah.
tool for
I got that's
SEO.
right. So your title here is too long. So instead, you would want to say custom facials, holistic skincare, and Morgan Hill. And then the second, this says the same exact thing twice. Olga Sabo Skincare, Olga Sabo Skincare Studio. So I would change those around: facials, holistic skincare, and Morgan Hill. Um, this is great. And let's look at your headers. So remember 45 minutes ago, I was saying your H1 needs to be updated. There is no H1 on this page. Your H1 is the title of the page. So there's no H1, it doesn't exist. This is the nerdy stuff that I get off on, that I love. So this would be, I guess, the esthetician equivalent of doing extractions. I love this stuff, but it's like a little tedious, but we have to set up the structure properly so that the robots, because robots are what crawls these pages, it sees what's going on. So to give you an example of one that's done properly, let's just pull up Maxine's. Hopefully I've done my job well and I'm not going to embarrass myself. um, H1, grow your esthetician business. So we're looking for people who are searching for grow your esthetician business, right? Do you see the difference in the how this is structured? It's structured like an outline from high school English reports. That's one of the things that we look at, Olga. And it doesn't matter if it's built on Squarespace or Wix or WordPress, which is the best men. But if you're already on Squarespace or Wix or what have you, we can work with that. What Maxine is saying is that if you've got ritaisgreat.wixsite.com or mycanvassite.rita.com, that doesn't work. It has to be ritaester.com, maxinedrake.com, whatever your business name is, not the free websites or the Gloss Genius booking site. You need to have like your website with your URL. If you've got that, we can work with that. We just can't work with something that is the free site that you can get from any of those services. So, and
Mhm.
if you're at that, by the way, if you're at that building stage, because I feel like we have a wide range of experience here in the room.
Yeah.
If you are at the ramp up phase or the build up phase of your business, like you were still in hustle mode, you're building this thing. SEO probably isn't what you need to focus on right now. And we do have the Esthetician Business Academy where we have the Esthetician Inner Circle, which is a monthly membership where we do 3 live coaching calls. That might be a better fit for you. What I do know that is that if you book a call with Maxine, if SEO is not a fit for you, we'll let you know. But there may be another coaching program that can help you get to right here. So this is really for somebody who's been in business for a year or two, and you're needing to grow more. But if your brand spanking new, is probably not. I mean, unless you just have a money to invest, you're
Mm,
probably best spent doing some events locally and that sort of thing, like really filling those first few clients first.
yeah. Maria, and thank you for that. Those are really, really good points. I forgot to ask you if there's any questions in the live.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Maria has to go check that.
I'm coming right now.
Okay.
I'm taking notes, guys. I was like, I'm booking my call right now.
Yeah.
One second, one second. It's loading right now.
And is there any other questions? Like, because sometimes when we're answering,
There's no questions in the group.
okay, no worries. Oh, that's a good one, Jace. Why would you recommend WordPress over like,
Squarespace, great question, Jace.
no?
The long and short of it is WordPress is endlessly customizable. Squarespace, you're working in within their container. And WordPress, we have control over everything. And as Squarespace, when we're working within their container, there are things that we can't optimize, like some of the site speed stuff that we can't make faster because it's running on their platform. So when you're in WordPress, sometimes it might be running slow. Maybe the problem is who you're hosting with. So Maxine just recently switched from one host to another because her hosting wasn't fast enough. So we switched to a different host. When you're with Squarespace, you don't have that freedom. So it's really about freedom and being able to customize. But the bottom line is this really. A lot of people will see Squarespace or Wix or whatever builders, and that's how they build their website. If that's what it takes to get you to get out there and build your website, then do it. I will say this. I've been paid many times. I've been building websites since 99, but I've been doing this full time since 2014 in my own business. I have never, ever, ever been paid to take a Wix or a Squarespace website. I'm sorry, I've never been paid to take a WordPress website and transfer it to Wix or WordPress. I have been paid
Wix or
a lot.
Squarespace?
I've been paid a lot to take Wix, Shopify, Squarespace, all of those builders and move it over to WordPress, but never the other way around. Because eventually you're going to come up against like the templates that you have to use, like you want it to look a certain way and behave a certain way and do certain things, and it's just not built for that. What about GoDaddy? GoDaddy is great for your name. I'm sorry. iPhone user is asking, what about GoDaddy? GoDaddy is great for buying your domain, and that's it.
Oh,
I wouldn't recommend hosting with them. They can be a little slow, and their website builder is not as good as it could be. I have been paid to go from a GoDaddy builder to a WordPress site also. Any of those builders, just I mean, just to be very honest with you, they're not very good for SEO. We can work with them, especially Squarespace and Wix. 2 years ago, I told you Squarespace, I can't even work with it, but they have made changes to their platform that allows us to optimize, but you're not going to have the freedom that you have with WordPress. Um, Corley's asking, who do you recommend for hosting? I know that Maxine does offer hosting for estheticians. That'd be a whole different conversation to have. And it's a company that is very familiar with working with estheticians, so they know the beauty business inside and out. So you just want to make sure that somebody that you can trust. Girly Girls haven't have issues with it with GoDaddy hosting. Yeah, I use them for my name sometimes. But I would talk to Maxine about hosting also.
yeah, we do it. Again, we fell into it, quite honestly,
Because of that problem.
because of the problem and because of other people who have built sites and then held them hostage and like, oh my God, like the list goes on. Like we've encountered like just about every scenario. And so we do utilize the Amazon, what is it called? Amazon.
S3 servers, yeah.
Yes.
And they're
But
very reliable.
very reliable for $35 a month. You can also look into Cloudflare.
Cloudflare's one, SiteGround is another one that's very has a very good reputation.
Yeah.
I mean, there's several that are good. GoDaddy, I just wouldn't trust them for hosting. They're just
No.
Your name server, great, but for your actual where your website lives, Cloudflare,
Yep.
with Maxine,
Yeah.
SiteGround, those are some good
Mhm,
options.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, I totally, yeah, I recommend, yeah. So if you just totally message me, I'll, whatever, like we could talk about it. Again, we fell into that because of how many problems people were having. So we're just adding services because of demand, honestly. And I think since 2020, there's just been so many companies that are just preying upon people. I don't even know what. I think it really it just took an influx since 2020. And there's just so many companies out there. I don't know. So yeah, so hopefully, but yeah, look into Cloudflare, Flare, and look into um SiteGround. I think SiteGround, we moved off of that at one point because they went to shared server though, Rita. You're muted.
Yeah, it just depends on the business. Angela's asking, I'm moving my website from GoDaddy to WordPress. Should I wait to have the audit till after it's built? Yeah, so if you're moving from the from the GoDaddy builder and having the same thing built on WordPress, then I would probably wait until after it's built. Um, and then let's take a look at it. Now, I'm going to let you know, Angela, and anybody else watching this live or on the replay, your website designer is not your SEO person. And I don't want anybody to get mad because their designer, like Olga's, is just not set up properly. That's because whoever designed it didn't set it up for SEO. It's two different things. And there's very few people, unfortunately, that know how to do both to make it look pretty and for it to be SEO optimized. I happen to be on that short list. But just whatever they're doing, Angela, just have them do it, and then I would turn it over to somebody else who specializes in SEO.
I
Right.
would do that as well. Unless she says,
Olga,
no, not at all. Like, listen,
Olga, I've seen people who've paid $30,000 for websites, and it's just the same. So,
and they were in tears, and then they were glad they found us. And so it's just one of those things. I commend anyone that tries to do it themselves because it's like at least you're learning and you see how hard it is also. And if you did it yourself, listen, there is no blame because when we use our little tools and stuff, I have pages on my own site. It's a constant. You're constantly updating, and people think like, oh, I have a website, I had it built, I paid X amount of money, it looks pretty, here's my money, and then they think they're done. But the truth is, your website is not never done. It's kind of like buying a home and remodeling, and once you go through the whole house and remodel, you want to redo the kitchen again, and like it's really truly like that. You're constantly working on your website. And so I love what Rita said. If you have to start off with Squarespace and Wix, I think it's easy to do those builders, and we can still work with you if you have those. So it's not a problem at all. So yay,
one of those
hopefully.
examples that we showed you in the case studies, one of those for a fact is a Squarespace site. So we can get results with Squarespace. It's just not what I would recommend, from the get-go. But if that's what you have, then let's work with it. I'm not recommending you change everything. I want you to build on what you've already built. I want you to grow from where you are right now.
Nancy, we'll definitely get together. The Squarespace site is great. The other thing that we like to do when we're working with our SEO clients is making sure that we can embed your booking link. I know for a fact, this is why it's not my favorite. Gloss Genius doesn't have that capability to embed, but we can still update and clean up everything else. And so,
Someone just asked, great question. What if I have an established website, but I'm about to switch booking software? That's perfectly fine. It is perfectly fine. If you go, let me just go to this link here and I show you what I mean. Because Google doesn't mind that because you're linking out to somewhere else. If I go to um, the link that I put in the chat for the done for you SEO, if we click book your audit, Google doesn't care where this link goes to. It goes to Maxine uses, what is it?
Acuity.
Maxine uses Acuity. So Google doesn't care where this links to. It doesn't care. So you can link to anything from there that will not, iPhone users, that will not affect your SEO at all. What about Shopify? I do work with Shopify 100%.
Oh, she was just saying that she's about to switch.
I wouldn't switch to, yeah, if you're thinking retail, what's going to do you best SEO wise is going to be WordPress for your framework, and then use something called WooCommerce for your
WooCommerce.
checking out for your
You'll
shop.
save money. Yeah, you'll save money versus Shopify. And Shopify is great. It's Mac Daddy. If you're already on Shopify, great. We can work with it. But you know, we
Angela's saying two different websites. I think we just need to get on a call and figure that out.
okay. Oh, all right. We'll do that.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. Is Wix not great, Rita?
Wix has the same problems that Squarespace does, which is they already have their framework and you're plugging in your information into their framework. So WordPress is we build it from the ground up and it's built for your business. So with Wix, some of the same problems like speed, loading time, that sort of thing, things that are outside of our control. But again, we can still work with you. We can still optimize your SEO.
Yep.
It's just not, we don't have as many options. We don't have as many tools in our tool belt for you when you have Wix or when you have Squarespace or when you have Shopify or any of the other builders. We just don't have as many tools for you. Doesn't mean that it won't work. It's just we don't have as many tools in our arsenal.
Yeah. Yes, WordPress by yourself is a lot.
Is.
So just, that's fine. And that's why a lot of people start on Squarespace. I love it.
100%, Jace. Just book a call. You can always just book a call with us, and even if you don't have, like, just let us know where you're at, and we can 100%, like, just book your call, and
Yes.
we can recommend. If it's not something that we can personally do, then we'll let you know who can. We'll point you in the right direction,
Right.
so you're not wasting time watching a bunch of tutorials on things that you don't need to. We'll point you in the right direction, if nothing else.
Right. That's
All
great.
right.
I have a VIP client, for example, that wanted to also hire us for this Google SEO work. And we took a look at her site, and right now we're working on other things. So she's having her site booked over. I said, "You're not a good candidate just yet. And Rita's going to take care of her site, but right now she's currently writing out 4 pages." And so I said, let's do that first. Let's, get with Rita, let her do the 4 pages for you, and then we can talk about that. So I'm not gonna talk you into something that isn't good for you. That's not right. So we're
Right.
going to make sure that you're a good candidate and all of that before we move forward with anything. And then there's other things that you can do. You can join our coaching if you want to learn how the DIY. Great. There is so much training. You will earn your marketing degree in our advanced marketing section in the group coaching. And then you meet with us once a week in group coaching. So like, there's there'll be something for you, but the first step is to book a call and let's see where you're at. Take a look at your numbers, take a look at what systems you have in place, and then what we can improve.
It'll be no different than somebody comes to you for, let's say, dermaplaning, and they get
Totally.
there and they have acne all over their face. Like, no, you're full out erupting with acne right now. Let's switch gears. Dermaplaning is not going to be right for you today. It's the same exact thing. When we talk to you, if you're not
Exactly.
a good fit, we'll point you in the right direction.
Absolutely. I hope this was helpful. I would love to know if you're still on. I think we have a few people still here. What was your favorite part of today's training? I always like to know. Just for any future trainings that we create, what was your favorite part? Like, what stood out to you out of all the information, the numbers, the stats? Was there something that stood out for you? We would love to know. I always like to know what was your favorite part, so I know where we're winning. And then I would also like to know where did we miss something that you were expecting to learn? that we didn't cover. I'm glad you like the playbook. Thank you. Okay, great. Blog ideas. Awesome. That's good. So those two things we like to learn so that we too can learn and grow.
Yeah, in the next training, I'll probably address like Wix, Squarespace, Shopify, because I didn't really address that. And
Okay,
then it's
good.
definitely something that comes up. So
It does, yes. So well, we went a little bit over, Maria. I hope that's okay.
Oh,
The
this was great.
easy explanation in the back end. Great. I'm so glad we did that. We worked really hard to like simplify it and make sure it was like digestible for you
the
and
80/20 rule, y'all, don't over I mean, seriously, I've been doing this for a long time. I spent a lot of time studying up on this. I'm telling you, that 80/20, what I put in that workbook, that is what you need to focus on if you're DIY in it.
absolutely. Oh, awesome. Well, I thank you so much for joining us. We had a good turnout today, and I look forward to the calls with you if you've booked. And let's just get going. We're coming into Q4, so now is a great time to start.
This was super helpful. Thank you so much, guys.
Absolutely. All
Is there
right.
going to be a replay?
Absolutely, there is.
Yeah,
We will be emailing it out and we're also going to load it up onto YouTube. I don't know how long it'll be available, but everyone that registered will get the replay if you want to watch it again.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
awesome. Bye, y'all.
Ah.